This is how we ride. This is how we do.
Now, speaking of late model guys and them being safe, we had this issue last night at Talladega Short Track. This is what happened to Nick Hoffman as he went into turn 3 and 4. A little bit of a rut up in the air and set it down. But you had two different opinions on the Talladega Short Track last night. Some people liked it, all hooked up and a little rough with some character. Some people didn't. I personally don't mind rutted tracks, hooked up tracks. I respect the drivers and the wherewithal and the talent that it takes to go through tracks like that. But this is a little bit different in the late model. It is a little bit different in the late model, especially when here recently, floracing shared a video from Tri-City 2016 with Jared Landers. And honestly, this video right here of Jared Landers is almost identical to Nick Hoffman, except a way worse result. And we got to give a lot of credit to the driving skill and ability of a Nick Hoffman to be able to set that car back down. Because obviously here with Jared Landers, you look at this replay and that's almost a very similar picture right there. I mean, we could have had the same result here with Jared Landers as we could have with Nick Hoffman. So, I mean, these are very, very similar images that we're seeing here. But Nick Hoffman, give credit where credit is due, found a way to set that car down. And if he didn't, this is potentially what we would have saw off the track into 3 and 4 because there's that big giant hill off the track. This is Tri-City. You know, they're lucky here. They had a wall. But if Nick Hoffman goes over right here like Jared Landers did, this could have been extremely, extremely bad. Because that right there would have been down to 30. At this point, if this car would have went, it would have been off of a 30-foot damn drop that Talladega has over there in 3 and 4. This was a scary situation, and it was so scary that you had Ricky Thornton Jr. said that his team has decided to load up for the night due to track conditions. We have a great season going and don't want to jeopardize a great car or injury to our driver. Thank you to the track for their efforts and any fans that came to watch. So very respectable pullout here, I will say, by Ricky Thornton Jr. You know, he is a Lucas Oil points leader. He obviously doesn't need to be at that show. It is a $50,000 to win event, so that's a pretty, a lot of reasons to be there. And after seeing what we just saw, even with the Jared Landers example and Nick Hoffman, I can understand how some people see it this way, but some people don't. Nick Hoffman himself, said the bull might buck you off in the first round, but you have to saddle back up and ride it again in round 2. So he was kind of ready to go after that happened. And kudos to Nick Hoffman for having the ability and gumpture to do so. He is, though, a World of Outlaw driver, and this is a World of Outlaw event, so he has emergency provisionals. He has kind of contractual agreement to be at the race, to race if you are there and able. So that may be playing a bigger factor here. Now, I'm going to leave the conversation off the screen because somebody else had a different opinion on this. I got some messages saying some just aren't built for it. And they asked if you had to guess, would it be the owner that made him load up, or did Archie J want to load up? I said probably a mixture of both. They're a Lucas driver and leading points. He said, yeah, true, but also just run Lucas races if you're that concerned about it. If you come to the track, you race, in my opinion. Now, I mean, once again, this goes back to what is a rut? What is this? What is that? Do you want the hard rubbered up slick racetracks, or are you okay with a little bit of a character and a little bit of buck up and run it? Some people, especially in the late model world, aren't used to or appreciate those tracks. In the sprint car industry, I mean, those kind of tracks are accepted, and the fear of getting injured or destroying your car is something that when you pull in the gate, you basically accept. And I think this is a really interesting time to kind of recognize the mentalities between the two sets of drivers. And even Nick Hoffman, himself looks like he's ready to go all out for what he's got, so it isn't necessarily just late model sprint car guys. It is a mentality of drivers and what's important to them. At this point in Ricky Thornton Jr.'s career, it's logical to sit here and think that he'd rather not destroy his race car that is obviously one of the most dominant late models in the country right now. And he would rather load it up and make sure he makes it to the next Lucas Oil Series race with a race car that's been dominating. Nick Hoffman, it's his first year full-time World Outlaw Late Model Series. He's got to, work these things out. And some drivers liked it. I'm not saying all the late model guys hated this racetrack. Some people did. One driver pulled out and left. I guess we could give a pass for how the sprint car drivers kept flipping every hot lap session yesterday, which the sprint cars are going to be very interesting. You got drivers like Brad Bowden down there, Tucker Bolton, a driver that we've covered, a long live the Chaz style driver. He's down there. He destroyed him in the heat race, running the top through the ruts. A lot of skill behind the wheels of those sprint cars that are down there. There are some, guys in the back that, are spinning out. This is a USCS event. So for you late model guys that are watching this sprint car event, it's not really, top of the line World of Outlaws, or it's not even really an ASCS level of sprint car race, but there are some good drivers down there, and it's going to be an entertaining race. And they got through the heat races in the sprint cars, and then the whole event ended up being canceled. Biggest surprise of the night to me had to be Todd Cooney and his run in the event. We're not used to seeing him up there at the front. So 2 good runs by some guys that you're just not used to seeing. I mean, Todd Cooney passed Brandon Shepherd. This is a lifetime memory for this man. I mean, at this point of his career, definitely for sure for that. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, how about these crazy flips, crazy wrecks? One guy's gone. Ricky Thornton Jr. on to the next race. Nick Hoffman back on the saddle again, and these sprint car guys are out there, risking it every single corner, no matter the damn track conditions. And they're there. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I think. Like, comment, share the video, and yeah, as always, be sure to subscribe. Catch you next time.
This is how we ride. This is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove. Don't give a damn about the cash we're spending. With the time we got, we choose to play it on the go, to stay out on the run. We all high, wide, and handsome. Ain't telling you what's right or wrong or what to choose. Hey, but this is how we do. This is how we do. Life in the bright lights with no shade.